saves us about $100 and some per month. So that's why our agenda is always smaller with the town of Glenwood than other townships, because we didn't figure for $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a month we needed to publish the whole agenda, and then we post it in other places. So this is the same procedure we've done for 10, 11 years. There's nothing different. We're not trying to hide something. We're not trying to pull something. We're not trying to do something as some of the rulers around town. So I'm going to have Phil Neuman is with the engineering company. He can give his presentation. Scott Teigen is here. He can talk, and then we'll open it up to public input. We're going to have to limit it to 3 minutes apiece, or we could be here till daylight. So we will limit it to 3 minutes per person that would like to speak. So, Mr. Newman,
Good evening. I'm Scott Teigen, 1274 Rustic Road 4, Glenwood City. I've lived there since 1971. I've had a Glenwood City address for 64 years. I lived in Glenwood all my life, and I'm going to live in Glenwood the rest of my life. County Road G, Valiant, I'll go on this side. My son Brian lives here in front. My son Travis lives here on the southern edge of the mining permit application. And I live one quarter mile over here. And the rumors I've heard is that we're leaving now, and I got news for you. We're staying here. Not leaving, I'm too old for that. There's about 480 acres or thereabouts in this property. The Teigens own 290 or approximately, and the Crosby's own approximately 190. We tested this property for sand in March, and in April, my wife Becky and I and my boys went to Texas to see the operation of Vista Sand. We wanted to see how they operate. We wanted to meet the people down there. And I'm happy to say that we're dealing with, it's a small company, but it's a good company. They have good, strong Christian morals, and I guess I relate it to a school district. Everybody thinks bigger is better. In a school district, I don't think it's the case, nor do I think it's the case here. All our dealings have been with the owner, not some board of directors. And they're straight, and they do what they say they're going to do. We had a lot of discussion in our family. We weighed what are the pros and the cons, and I think anybody that knows me knows that I love to hunt. The animals, the woods are important to me. Not only here, but everywhere. What really kind of sold us on going forward with this was all of the good that this can do for our community. It's about approximately 90 jobs between what would be operating in the mine here, the trucks to haul the sand to 12, and then the facility to load the train down at Highway 12 and K, where they're proposed to put the sand on the rail. And if you just use $20 an hour, and these are good jobs, if you use $20 an hour, it's about $4 million a year into this community. That's just the payroll. That's to say nothing of the increase in the tax. The benefit to the township, to the county, to the schools, to the churches is multiplied by beyond that $4 million. And we weigh all of these advantages. And sure, there's money in it for us. I will not deny it. have decided, Becky and I and the boys and their wives, the top 10% of what we get goes back to the schools, the community, and the churches. That's the minimum. And you have our commitment on that. I just give you an example, and we are community-minded people, and we've never put our name on it. We'll probably put our name on some of these things now so that you know we're putting our money where our mouth is. But for example, now maybe we can give 5 scholarships to the school instead of the 1 or 2 that we're funding today. And that's just an example. And you have our word, all 6 of us. We'll do it. There's the Vista Sand has committed to assist in the upgrading of County Road G, which is scheduled to start in about 3 weeks. So finally, this road from Downing to 128. I wish some of you people could drive a tractor across that road, then you really feel the bumps. We've never had a good road there. Finally, we'll have a first-class road, like the road going from Matthews Pit up the hill and out to 128, the way those trucks go. How we're kind of looking at this, and here's another thing that's critical to us going forward with this. The county ordinance only allows 20 acres to be open at any one time. And that's a pretty small field anymore. If the proposal was to come in and, as one of our letters in the paper said, you're going to have a 1.5 mile long pit, half-mile wide. I mean, that's totally wrong. So I don't want to caution you, the letters that you read in the paper are not factual. It can't happen. The county ordinance allows 20 acres to be open at any one time. Certainly the 20 acres will start here, and then when they want to move beyond the 20 acres, they got to start reclaiming the last 5 or 10, and then they can move that. So you're really going to have a 10 or 15, up to 20 acre mine kind of moving through the area. And when they get over here 24 years later, the woods is back here, or it's farmland, one or the other. The way it's drawn here right now, we pick up between 150 and 200 acres of additional farmland. And I'm hoping they can take the rocks out of the dirt before they put it back. That was supposed to be funny. The investment that the Texas company is going to put in here, Phil will talk about this, but we've tucked this wash plant way back up in this draw here. I refer to it as our driveway by the white side. There's no white side over the trees here, but on this first driveway coming in. There'll be a berm around here, and it's only a wash plant. It's not a drying plant. There's no chemicals put on the sand. It's washed, separated, and hauled up. So it's relatively quiet. There's reclaimed ponds here. The water goes from the water plant into the reclaimed pond, then into the freshwater pond, then they bring the water back and recycle it. There's a high capacity well here that they'll use for water when they need more water. It's similar to a well that they would use for irrigating a farm. But the investment in this plant is about $17 million. Somebody's got to make that equipment. Somebody's got to install the plant. This is all pluses for our economy. He intends to have between 40 and 45 trucks, tractors and trailers, operated on compressed natural gas. Leading edge, clean burning trucks, and I don't know what the cost of tractor and trailers are, but take it times 45 and they probably got another $7 or $8 million. There's maintenance that's going to have to be done on an ongoing basis. All that is good for our economy, in my opinion. You read the stories about the health hazards. Once again, I'll just say, Brian, Laura, and my new grandson Otto live here, right in front of the operation. We don't have a concern about silicosis. And I'm not so sure, I don't know how true it is. All I know is when the St. Croix County Park wanted sand for their beach, they came and got our white sand. You know what that is? It's frac sand. When the pool in Glenwood City wanted sand for their beach, they came and got frac sand. It's the same sand. And 25 families a year get sand out of our pit with their sand mines. And I've not heard of any of them dying yet. I know Julian Bender has been trying to set up, or has set up an informational meeting for June 26th. And Julian called me, and I put him in touch with Vista Sand guy, and I knew that was going to be a problem. I told Julian he thought the date was flexible. After he talked with our sand people, he was not flexible. He set for June 26th, and Vista can't be here that night. So we have our informational meeting where we'll tell you the facts from our side on July 2nd. And that meeting's at Holy Cross Lutheran Church in the Fellowship Hall at 7 o'clock. And I'll be here, and with that, I'll turn it over to Phil Neuman with SEH.
Maybe hard to see, but we have, in yellow is the overall property. Got a dash line around that. There will be a 100-foot buffer from any mining limits from the property, and we'll try and maintain all the existing trees within that buffer, keep it screened. As Scott mentioned, we'll also be building berms up at the area where the wash plant will be, as Scott says, you tucked in this little gravel area. And then the mining phases, the large numbers are the phases, and then, as Scott mentioned, the maximum open mine at any time is 20 acres. That's a county requirement. So they're in the process now of reviewing our reclamation plan. So we split each of the phases into 2 or 3 different stages, basically a maximum of 20 acres open at one time. So we'll construct the wash plant up here, just south of Trunk G. First phase will be in this area. They'll start working their way south. Next phase they'll go to the west. This phase 3. And again, each phase is about 35 to 40 acres. So again, it's broken into 20 acre stages for that. That's what the A and B is. And then moving south 4, 5, and then continuing west. Scott mentioned there's expected life of the mine is 24 years before we get to the last phase over in the southwest corner. As Scott mentioned, as we go along and mine it, we will be reclaiming. So, for example, they'll open up this first area of phase 1, and before they move into, as they start to move into phase 2, they'll be stripping the topsoil, the subsoil, a temporary stockpile that from the second half of phase 1, remove any overburden, and they'll be using that then to reclaim the area that's already been mined. So the first part is stage 1. So that will proceed in that way. It'll be kind of a rolling mine operation as they're opening up a new area for use of that material to reclaim previous year's mine activity. With the wash plant up here, what they strip off, that topsoil and subsoil there, that's what they'll use for these berms. They'll stay up there for the life of the mine, providing screening, and then when the mine life is over and they reclaim the wash plant, then they can use that material there. So again, it's rolling as they go along and reclaiming it. Well, you may not be able to see it lying here in the back. I talked about the yellow dash line. That's the mine boundary where we have the sand resource, again, 100 foot in from the property, and then basically following the contour of where the product sand is. So I'm just kind of outlining it here. This is the area of the mine activity. And then on the south side of the larger hills, it's close to that 100 foot inside from the property. Another exhibit here, Scott mentioned, when this is finished up, it's going to be reclaimed for agricultural land or woodlands. This is a contour map showing the reclaimed area, a maximum 3-to-1 slope, and that's fairly close to what the steepness of some of those hills are now, about 3-to-1, 3 feet horizontal, 1 foot vertical, so that would be the maximum slope. And when you see the fairly yellow area, those are the 3-to-1 areas, and then we'll have some rolling terrain, but other areas could be returned and put into production as agricultural fields. Just to mention these kind of crosshatched lighter blue areas, those are some wetland areas. They're outside the mine activity, outside the wash plant area, so those will not be impacted. So that's 24-year life of the total mine.
One thing I'd like to point out here too is where the yellow boundary is, that's really the only place where the ground and the trees will be disturbed. You can see from the wash plant will be right up in here. You can see all of these trees, and this is a ridge here left. You can see all these trees left, all the way around the edge. This whole mining operation that goes on here, nobody will see that, only from the air. Now when we get over here, we have to address some issues here. This is 10, 12 years away, but what we consider doing is planting some trees along the edge here, or leaving some of these trees, but we'll definitely address that issue here. And we can put some berms up here too. There'll be additional berms other than just what we showed here. There'll be other berms along here as we go. But the way this woods and this topography lays, this is really an ideal spot to do that for a minimal effect on the people.
How deep do you go?
You're talking about, you're concerned about the water table?
Well, I mean, you go below the creek levels and you go...
No. It's basically cutting in at about the partway up the hill where the sand is relatively level both at the top and the bottom. There's some difference in elevation across there, but fairly consistent elevation. And it's about, I think, a minimum of maybe 10 to 15 feet above groundwater. So it would be above the base of the creek level. 12 feet above water table, the closest they get. Will be the bottom of the mine floor. So they will be above that, above the water.
How far below the surface is it?
It depends on where the hills are. You know, it's probably going to be...
Give me an average.
Well, it starts basically at 0 at the side of the hill, going into the side of the hill, and the maximum, let's see if I can see that. Maybe 150 feet. And again, it's not going to be...
The one place I checked is right here, and the elevation change is 70 feet right here.
So it's really going to take a lot of land off there. Really takes the land off there. Off the top to get to the sand, yes?
Yes.
So how deep is this? Okay, you're going to come in at, let's say, 15 feet above the water table. How deep is the sand?
These are probably pretty hard to see. Basically, these are cross section without holding on. This is the existing ground line. This is the bottom of the sand project, and then the red is the finish line. Now those are cross sections. The first one is an 8A excavation across the entire width of the mine. And that's the cease. The section B is here. CC is there, so we show that 3-to-1, pretty similar to the existing slope on the hill. 3-to-1 slope, pretty similar. basically that existing hill being pushed back to here, and then some rolling terrain looking across that way. So the maximum is maybe about 110 feet from the top of the highest hill down to the bottom of the mine floor. It's more typically probably in that 60-foot range or so. And again, looking at section, this middle one out here, this is above, the bottom of the mine floor is above the grade of county highway.
It's above the grade of the county highway?
Yeah. So the product, the sand product is above that. So we're not digging a hole down, and again, we're 10, 12 feet, 15 feet above groundwater elevation. Also, stormwater, Scott mentioned how to process water, we're going to recycle that. So there will be a high-tap well for makeup water, but they want to reuse that water, keep recycling that water for their wash process. We show throughout the phases, we'll have stormwater ponds where we'll be maintaining stormwater, keeping it internally drained, as well as have a storm pond out in the wash plant area. We'll have to be erosion control maintained throughout the life of the project.
Allow me to ask another question that may sound silly.
Excuse me. We're going to go to public input, then I'll give you 3 minutes of time.
Okay.
Okay. I'm afraid if we don't get this up, we'll be here till midnight. So here's another bit of information for you. Okay. I asked for these guys to come tonight. Glenwood Township is under St. Croix County zoning, and if you're going to record, you really should get somebody better look at the movie. I want to see this on YouTube. Blooper. Okay. Glenwood Township is under St. Croix County zoning. Okay. It's different than Forest. Forest is not under St. Croix County zoning. Okay, so the town board here, okay, we're not going to make any decisions tonight. We may in July, we may in August, I don't know, okay, where that comes. These guys had to file applications with St. Croix County zoning, okay. St. Croix County zoning reviews it, and then they bring it back to the Glenwood Town Board, okay, and we strictly do a recommendation vote. Okay, we are not a final vote whatsoever. St. Croix County will then will go to the Board of Adjustments, and the Board of Adjustments will have public hearings. Okay, that's where testifying is going to be very, very important if you have a feeling one way or the other. Because we are strictly a recommending or a what's the word I'm using? Advisory vote. Okay? Yes or no. Alright? So that's why I asked them to come tonight, so that the board can start to get some information and some input from the residents and the taxpayers of Glenwood Township as to the feelings of what we want to do here. So we don't carry a lot of weight, and we don't carry a lot of clout. The main impact is going to come from St. Croix County Board of Adjustments. So I'm gonna open it up to public input. Again, we're going to limit it to 3 minutes, and if you'd like to get up and talk for 3 minutes, that's fine. I'm going to really ask that you not record these if you're on.
You can record it.
Because I'd like people to be able to talk freely, and I don't want to be taken out of context or something. Okay?
All right. Hi, my name is Cheryl Merrill, so you'll never forget that. Cheryl Gilbertson Merrill. Actually, I'm from Menominee, and my daughter lives in the township, Menominee Township, so I've become very aware of this. because Nancy came this way. Her family lives directly across from the proposed spur. I spent a lot of time researching this, listening to fact, fiction, and rumor. At this point, I throw something to the board if you'd like it, that is fact. You know what it is factual comments at our Menominee Township meeting. So it's, give you the reference exactly where it was said. One of the things that I want to address the most is something that is a fact. This was a conversation at the Menominee Township between Vista Sand, Luke Adler, Mr. Sykes, and Mr. Sykes. And this is fact. There will be non-stop hauling. As proposed, the spur and hauling route will operate day and night, 6 to 7 days a week. The fact now on that is, it will be 6 days a week, 24 hours, 8 to 9 months out of the year. It could increase truck traffic, and this was done by a mathematician at the meeting, and Mr. Apple agreed that this is correct, 400%. Vista proposed it would be 14%. The mathematician said, sir, your math is incorrect, 400%. That means 128, 170, 79, 12, 24 hours a day. The minimum of one truck every 90 seconds. Then the source is Vista Sand's publicly stated estimates. So, rail traffic, Vista estimates that initially operating at 40% capacity, the spur would handle 2 to 4 unit trains a week, with each train consisting of approximately 110 train cars. Okay, I'll go with that. Each carrying 100 tons of sand from your mine. This isn't a little hole. 100 tons of sand. And because I'm a long-time medical person, sir, I don't mean to lose to be rude. Silica is very dangerous. Thank you for your time.
Another bit of information that you may want to look up. St. Clair County zoning has a non-metallic mining ordinance in effect that's on the books. And if you go online on the St. Clair County website, you can pull up the mining ordinance to read and review. Right now, the ordinance says mining hours is from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Friday. None on Saturday, Sunday, holidays, that type of thing, etc. Okay. It would be up to Board of Adjustments if they were going to change that. That would not be a town board decision. Okay. So
when you say that the same mining, all about your trucking, it's loading trucks.
Loading.
So you can't load trucks on Saturday, Sunday, as it's a tractor.
Correct. Unless they get a variance from the county.
And that is possible to give a variance? Absolutely.
Joe, can I be recognized in
Yep.
please? For the record, I called in Glenwood Township, I live in Glenwood Township. I live right back from the Limestone Quarry. When you're talking about truck traffic, I have snapshots I would like you to see. I have videos, but I didn't bring them with. This is what you're looking at, just a snapshot of what you will see 24/7. And when they tell you the hours of operation are 6 o'clock, the trucks are going by my house anywhere from 5:15 till 5:30. Because they load at 6. They open the gate at 6. You can pass this down, please. This is another picture of what you will see 24/7. They gave us a new road. They did. My mailbox is tipping over from the weight of the trucks. They were running on Saturdays. That's true. Until I went to a town board meeting and said, what are your hours of operation? What are your bylaws? They said Monday through Friday. Why are you by my house on Saturday? This is the silica sand dust coming out of their gate. I don't go looking for these pictures, folks. I just carry my camera because I love taking pictures of birds and deer and anything that's pretty. This isn't pretty. This is pretty ugly. One of their bylaws said they would keep the sand dust down. They didn't. If you look real careful in this picture, you can see there's a Dusty Road sign, but you can barely see it because of the dust. And I'm telling you, as a public health nurse for 11 years, it's glass. Thank you. It's glass that they're mining. It's beautiful. It's pretty. It's dangerous. We don't know long-term effect what it does to us. And I would love to say I want to see jobs come to our county and that we can be progressive. But I also have lived on my property for 32 years. I have raised 3 children in the Glenwood City District. My oldest granddaughter just graduated from Glenwood City High School. I have an investment in this county. And I would hate to have us sell it like our soul when we don't know the end result, or we don't know how much property loss we're looking at for the future kids. Thank you.
Good evening. William Bender, resident of Glenwood City. I have an official invitation for you to come to the forum on June 26th from 6 to 9 o'clock at the high school gym. The agenda, I should say not the agenda, but the intent of the forum is a factual presentation of the issues surrounding the idea of sand mining in our Glenwood. I have several panel participants that still isn't finalized yet, but hopefully it will be a spectrum of participants that will be able to answer your questions about water quality, air quality, truck traffic, ordinances and things of that nature. So look for the announcement in the local paper. 26th from 6 to 9. Thank you. Second. The gentleman that made the presentation. Phil. Thank you for the information. What question? Is this document online available for you to look at?
It's not yet. It's been submitted to St. Croix County. They're reviewing it now. It's under review by them, and we'll become a public document after their review.
At some point, will it be online for public review?
I'm not sure how St. Croix publishes it, if they put it on their website or what, but it will be a public document that will be available.
Okay.
You can contact the town now, they might have it available for the public.
It's not on the main that we're going to be at St. Croix County.
Correct. I called about that today. I'm surprised at the number of pages. I thought it might be 10 or 12. It must be like 100.
Buffalo.
Yeah. Anyway, one last question. You mentioned the wash plant. Okay. Will that be using a flocculant of any kind?
It will be using a flocculant. It has to be a Wisconsin DNR approved flocculant.
What's it called?
Flocculant
It's chemicals. It will help settle out the fines, the silts and the finer material. out of the sand. We'll settle them out, we'll settle them into that pond, and then the water will be recycled, so we're not pumping as much groundwater. We're reusing the wash water.
Can I just ask you a quick question? Will there be a Safeway County Health Department additional deputy?
Yes.
I just want to say, you kind of blow your credibility when you say there's a wash plant with no chemicals, and then you say there's going to be flocculants. I don't know what, I mean, that's not water, and that's not sand. That's, you're bringing in something that's probably got an MSDS associated with it. I just think it would help us trust you if you tried to come to our level on that. We consider a flocculant a chemical.
No, I'd agree. It's a chemical. It's not, doesn't stay with the sand. It will settle out and stay on sand. But yes,
in your presentation, you said it's a wash plant and there's no chemicals. I wrote it down when you said it because I was like, wow, no chemicals, wonderful.
Well, I'll address that, and I apologize. I'm the one that said no chemicals, and I was really thinking about chemicals that get applied to the sand before it's fracked into the ground. And that's a process that may happen in Texas. But this flocculant, I guess, is a chemical. So I apologize. I did not mean to mislead you. If that's chemical, I apologize.
What is a flocculant? What is it? Is it thick,
It's a
gas? What is it?
It's a chemical that you put in. They use them at wastewater treatment plants too. It aggregates. If you've got something suspended in water and you can apply a certain kinds of chemicals, they'll cause those suspended solids to clump up, to flock together,
I understand
and then
that.
settle.
May I ask another question? Are they not often carcinogens, and most of them, the flocculants, are proprietary, so the public can't know? I'm just asking.
I didn't get your name for the reason.
My name's Carol Neese, and I live. I'm in Stanton Township.
Okay. Who else would like to speak?
I would. I'm Jerry Leonard. This is much longer than here. I live on corner G 128. Many concerns. Did move to Glenwood to live by this number one. All great neighbors, everybody here, every great neighbor, great community. Do I hold against anybody who I do it? No. My son started pre-K this year. He lasted 2 weeks on school bus for there. I don't need trucks all the time. I'm trying to hold this all there. We have a lot of facts here that are not backed up. Mr. Teigen misstated something. Well, this is very important for us. I understand your advisory. Please take this into serious consideration of what your recommendation is telling us. What it's going to do to our community. What it's going to do to our school. I work with sickness and I have bags in my shop. And it's horrible stuff. Pulmonary disease, lung disease, nervous system shutdown. And horrible stuff. Million questions, but it's all settled for that. I have a hard time talking about. I mean, have we looked at the effects of the water runoff? This is a floodplain community. I can't put bullshit up on my field. You're going to take away 400 acres of country. What else we have here? Relatively to sea level, I mean, it's very vague. I mean, there's a July 2nd meeting that's supposed to inform us from the people that aren't from Vista Sand. Come on. Please put this, slow it down. Don't let it happen fast. Make that your recommendation
around the city? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Is there an answer to that or no? No. Just so everybody knows where you're from. Well, yeah, I know who you are, but I just want to make sure everybody knows. Okay. Thank you. I mean, if you'll all want it, you'll all more. I mean, the county or whoever, who decided that? The county would be the one who decided.
I live across the road from where the sand mine pit is actually going to be. What's that going to do in the property values? Will I be able to live there with the kids? You know, grandkids and stuff. How about our water well? How about my well? You know, then we got the sewer plant over there. You can't tell me the dust ain't going to get in that. You know, and I backed your Leonard on this idea on this. I know, we got to put it to your heart first. That's all I got to say.
And your name is what?
Galen Austin.
Thank you.
Three minutes, that's it?
Yeah, three.
You know, I'm concerned about a lot of things. I'm concerned about groundwater. Obviously, we've got a lot of high water tables here. So the fact that Vista's going to take off a lot of that top layer, I'm concerned about where the water is going to go. I mean, not just what they're using, but the stuff that's running out. Is it going to filter through faster? Is it going to get to our groundwater faster? Okay, so that's one concern. The other concern is the amount that's going to be used. We're going to pump a lot of water out to be used on this. So that's another concern because we've got incredibly good water for the most part in the state. And that's such a crucial resource. I just want to make sure it continues to be available, obviously. I'm concerned about some inconsistencies you brought up. Obviously, the county makes some decisions about these things. I spoke to someone at the plant around this, and I was dismissed pretty readily. I was asking about what's happening in St. Clair County. They said we've got mines that are operating, everything's fine, we're going to put water. And it's not a direct quote, that's exactly what we told them. And then we had, of course, a burn that broke, and we've got water going into the river, and we've got that happening in that county. So I'm concerned about that as well, because putting up a burn and making sure all this stuff is contained is great, but, show us some experience. If that is, in fact, something that Vista does well, and we've never had an accident with them, I'd like to know that. I know that there are all different companies operating. So one can't be held responsible for another one. But I'm also concerned about the kind of the chain reaction. If we have one, can we stop them? Or do we have no choice there? Will the county just continue to allow them? Regardless. And then finally, the traffic. I mean, we've had people counting the number of people that live along this route and what it's going to do to traffic, commuter traffic, and the people that live there, the property values, because we've got that happening and the dust. And I know that was made that, we've all used this sand at some point. We've used buckets for it. We've used, a truckload, a pickup truckload, but we haven't moved it like this, and we've never had the potential to make dust that's this toxic. So, those are my questions. Oh, and Sally Rose from Glenwood.
Jim Lanskin from Russellville Board. If one goes to the CDC's website, or goes to OSHA's website, this idea, this fantasy that silica dust is no problem, it's just that. It's a complete fantasy. The ancient Greeks knew that there was something odd about this dust that came off of the carvings that their people were doing, and they were the Romans that were making cement realized there was something odd about the lung problems associated with it. During the Great Depression, the U.S. government did major studies because so many workers on the tunnels through West Virginia were coming down with unexplained lung problems that something was odd. And since then, over the decades, they have absolutely confirmed that there is a direct correlation between silica dust, inflammation of the lungs, which leads to all sorts of health problems must wear a respirator. Everybody who works there is issued a respirator because it's deadly stuff. OSHA's comment is, their saying is, if it's silica, it's not ordinary dust. It's not just dust. So this fantasy, there's no problem with silica dust, it's just that, it's fantasy. When you see pictures like we're shown, with this dust all over the place, that's bad news. When you go over to New Auburn and you see those 5 lines in operation on a moderately windy day, you have dust all over the place. All the people who put in those mines went to lots of boards and said lots of nice things. That's what they do. But the reality isn't always so pleasant. It just isn't. It's really hard to suppress sand dust with water, which is what they do, especially on a windy day. It doesn't hold moisture. It blows all over the place. And what you're doing in this particular case is you're proposing to put an industrial scale silica sand mine right next to a store where you're going to have kids from kindergarten through 16 exposed for 16 years to this stuff. Long-term, low-level exposure, you're turning them into lab rats. And it's just flat out wrong. Go to the CDC site, go to the OSHA site, do the research, and by all means, go to New Auburn and go and see what those mines are like. It's just, it's reality as it exists in the world today. It's not wishful thinking. Thank you.
In our township, in that Pennsylvania, I want to talk about, first of all, that you're an advisory board, but you're elected to your job, is that correct? So, in my mind, you have a responsibility to the community, to the citizens of your community who elected you, first and foremost, over anybody. You know, no matter how much money is involved, or the few people that are anchored, your responsibility, in my mind, is the majority of your community. And I don't see that going on at these meetings. We saw the planning commission in the township the other night vote yes to advise to their board for the Gulfsburg. Even though it seems to me the majority of people have said no. There might be some special interest there. So my concern is also that, that we're wearing away at democracy. That, you as elected officials have this responsibility to your constituents. And if you have interactions or relationships with elected officials or a few people in the township who are going to get money out of this deal, or if you have people who are going to benefit from this deal, then you have this tendency to be influenced and lead away more heavily, towards saying yes to advise on this. But that is corruption. That's certainly corruption. And when you when you make a decision like that, you're also corrupting the institution. And that's been going on, for eons. That's really going on in most countries. And it's really going on locally right now. And so I'm going to ask you, I'm not your township, I'm asking my township board. I'm going to ask you to be responsible for the majority of your citizens. And not to Vista, and not to Mr. Teigen, and not to, anybody, the few people that might be back there, that your responsibility are these people. And their rights. And I'm a nurse, I can tell you, so it does get serious. I work with people that have pulmonary fibrosis, they got working in factories, they work in bathrooms, and incubating apartments, all their lives. It goes into your lungs, it does not leave, and eventually your lungs become fibrotic. And that's what it's like. Young people in schools look at their bodies, not money.
I guess my question is there are a lot of what ifs. The trees might stay here, we plan on doing this, we plan on doing that, we plan on this, we plan on that. There's no set, nothing in writing here that we've heard. Everything, we should be able to do this, we should be able to do that. I want solid things. ones that won't be able to see it. Well, I want that right, because how are we all going to stop this once they get going in there? Good point that was brought up. 5 years down the road, who's going to regulate it? I guess that's the question I have too, is who's going to regulate that there's only 20 acres open at a time? I've been to Bloomer, I don't know if they have the same regulations or not. I went to Bloomer, the small mine. Drive down 64, windy day, you got to turn windshield wipers on just to get the sand up the damn windshield. They're half a mile off the road. It's not going to be easy. Just did shingles in a house, a mile and a half away. The beepers are driving me crazy. I mean, it's 5, 6 beepers all the time. If you want to sit on that cup of coffee and sit in order, forget it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to fly. That's the one thing. I guess shame on us as residents of the town of Glenwood to not be here sooner. We should have been here 5 months ago. We should have learned something from the town forest. And we didn't. And I said every week I was going to read the minutes in the paper. I guess shame on you guys to have this big of a deal going on and not putting it in the minutes of the paper. I guess I'm disappointed in the town board because you know what I told us the media? I said Joe Draxler wouldn't do that to this township. I trust Joe Draxler, and if there was something this major going on that's going to affect us this much, he would put it in the paper. And I guess Joe, I'm a little bit disappointed. I think you're doing a great job as a town chairman. I think Tindor's doing a great job. I think everything's running great. This should have been put in the paper maybe a little bit ahead of time. I want to know about the drinking water. What happens if, you're 10 feet away from the, you get more sand than you thought. You're 10 feet away from the drinking water. Diesel truck pulls in there, rips a big hole in it, and there's thousands of gallons of diesel fuel, siphoning down into the drinking water. Who's going to re-drill my well if I can't even drink out of it? I guess I want those questions, and I want the hours of operation put in writing. Let's not go off. Let's not do the same for a county besides this forest. Let's set it ourselves. We should have that right. I guess I think maybe, I don't know if we can actually legally do this, but I think we should take a vote. If everyone agrees that the complete agenda should be approved. Personally, I think it should be. I think this, especially something this magnitude, everything should be in that paper. Once a month. And I think everyone, we can do that. I don't know if we can. I don't know the rules. So I think that's something that maybe we should address even tonight. That's about it. That's about all I got. I think, can we take a vote on this issue? That's what I'd like to know also. Can we take a vote as citizens to say yes, no, how does it work?
Why not?
Right. And that's,
Yeah, why can't we have a referendum?
I guess that's what I propose. Like I said, it's all our fault for not being here 5 months ago, 4 months ago, 3 months. I guess, no one really knew. I guess I don't know. This is 5 months in the works and we just drilled in March. I guess I'm questioning that time frame a little bit myself. But, like I said, I'm giving you guys the benefit out because all you guys are great guys. Nothing against any of you. I guess that's just a little disappointed I wasn't put the meetings and for the paper. Just kind of wanted that. Oh, yeah, name and Barry Peterson, 3020 and 135. Anyone needs any single terms?
Let me say, I think I actually look at the project and say, but I applaud Scott for trying to find means to bring to our community more jobs, more opportunity. I applaud that. God knows this part of the town needs it. You drive down 128 at 6 o'clock in the morning and you should see the traffic both ways. bring people, that will bring prosperity. But I don't think this is it.
My name is Mary Walker. I live at the corner of Rusty Road 3, Rusty Road 4, and Highway 128. It's Anderson Place used to be. I'm concerned about the dust. The prevailing wind seems to be from the south, southwest, southeast, and if I understand the directions, I'm really poor about that. Probably most of the time can't hit my suitcase with both hands. But isn't the school just north of where this proposed pit mine, right? So the dust is going to go right onto that school. That just cannot be a good thing at all. What about the truck route? What is the route? If they come up, are these semis? Are these semis with a big, huge trailer, and they're carrying sand in those? Not the dump truck things? No, okay. Are they going to come up 128? Up to G? And turn up G? And go into the whatchamacallit there? And load up? And then down
Up to 170.
whatever that road is that goes from Boyceville down across the railroad track. You stop, you turn left, you go into Boyceville. Oh, 12. That's 12, right?
No,
Only been way down
that 170, then up to 79 to 12.
I'm from the south, and I've been here 5 years, and I have a real problem with road names and such like. So anyway, I have a question about why is the rail spur down there? Why isn't it up by Downing? Isn't Downing closer to the open pit proposed place? Why go all the way down there? Why not put it? Why not propose? So I don't understand that.
It's because of the quality of the rail.
Excuse me?
It's the quality of the rail. The Canadian
Quality
line.
of the rail?
Yeah, the rail that goes along Downing is an
Well, one company's got a lot of money, they can just put in a new rail. Why not? Well, they're filthy rich. Okay, the wear and tear on the roads, who's gonna pay for that?
Taxpayers.
I don't wanna pay for it. Unless somebody starts putting money in my checking account. And I really going to object to the noise of the trucks, because I had a hard time putting up with the ethanol trucks when I first moved here 5 years ago, coming up into the 128. Oh my Lord, all day, all night. The noise. No, I'm afraid I agree with the lady in the back. It's a beautiful place. I know things change, but doggone it, it just seems like there are too many negatives here. Thank you.
I'm Bob was waiting over the Sandwich Township, but I just wanted to clarify some stuff about construction. I live at the other end of the opportunity or the other end of the problem. But according to Vista, the way this rail spur works, which is completely dependent on the existence of that line, is that they get these 100-car unit trains from the railroad, and they come when they come. When they show up, you've got to get them loaded. And if you don't get them loaded, the extra fee that they have to pay the railroad is enormous. So they got to get loaded when they show up. And so, to answer your question, the spur is really, because that's the land that they could find on the railroad that can support that traffic. They can't do it on this maybe their way. So, you had mentioned when the mine would operate, but in all of this remarks, that they have said that they have to truck 24/7. When these trains come in, they got to load them up. And they can't have them sitting there when it's over. So they've got to be loading all the time. So they're loading 24/7. They said that maybe they could take the trucks off the road like 2:30 to 3:30 when the school buses are running or something, but they have to run more trucks later. That was kind of the only option. They really got to run it all the time. And so what I remember from their presentation is that they would start out with about, I think it was a truck every 6 minutes was their estimate. But that's how many trucks mines beyond this one came and wanted to use that translating capacity to sell it to them, and they said, well, sure, we would be open to that. So, the thing about this sand thing is that it's sort of whatever part of the elephant you grab, and I think that's what it is, but it's all connected. There's this here, there's a transloading facility down on 12, there's the neighbors there's incredible truck traffic, semi-loads of sand, all except in the dead of winter. And then what's really we're headed toward is a mining district in this part of St. Clair County. And that's really what we're making decisions about. What happens is we think about the little railroad facility, this one mine, but really what we're doing collectively is we're making decisions about becoming a mining district. And if you go to Chippewa County, they have a mining district. So that's really what we're excited. If you want it, great. If you're not interested in that.
May I just make one, I'm sorry, I know I've had my time, but Wisconsin has a law called the law of diminishing asset. And as long as the mine can continue to buy land, and that's often done by paying off the neighbors, I will attest to that. My daughter was offered $40,000 to keep her mouth shut. As long as they can keep buying off land, so say you've got your mine here, the neighbors are miserable, easy place to buy because they want to move, they want to get out. Yes, the property values have been diminished, so now they just want out of Dodge. That mine can keep moving, and that's Wisconsin law. You can look it up. It's called the law of diminishing asset.
All the original.
That's why I think it's so big.
Is that, are you looking at me or? I did. I spoke a little bit. I did want to say something else about this money, and to me, Vista as a company has lost some credibility also by. I think it's great to offer somebody whose property value is going to be shot to hell a bunch of money, but I don't think that money should be attached to your freedom of speech. So if you want to offer a neighbor $40,000 because you know their property value is going to drop, that's great. But this agreement that says you can't complain, you have to say that you're for it, that's correct. I can't believe that that's legal.
It's in the St. Paul Pioneer Press if you Google it.
So that's the company you're dealing with, is somebody who's got to bribe neighbors into compliance. That's not somebody who's working honestly.
Yeah, my name is Bob Boomer. I moved out here about 8 years ago. I wanted to buy a place in Wisconsin. I didn't like Minnesotans. Anyway, I looked at a place in the Nap Valley and passed on it, but I thought that was the most beautiful valley I'd ever seen. I ended up buying a place on 128th, and I love it. It had moss on the ground, tree frogs, and I consider it my own personal paradise. And when I heard about what was going to happen with the trucking, it got my attention. And that was my first concern, is the noise from the trucks, and what route they would take and why they would have to take that route instead of going back. They said, they didn't want to make left-hand turns. Otherwise they could go back and forth on 79 or just one road here, take half the people. But anyway, later on my concern was when I recognized where the rail spur was proposed, and I thought, this isn't the only mine they're interested in. They're going to take all of Nap Valley and take the hilltops and turn it into like an Appalachia. And I hate to see that happen, and I hate to see democracy bend to special interests. And I guess that's all I have to say. But I would also like to know when the actual truck route will be fixed and the public can know what it is actually going to be, because I've heard different stories as to how it's going to go. The first one was by G, then I heard it was going to go in Rustic Road and bypass some property on G, which belongs to someone. Anyway, I would like to know from somebody when that route will be fixed and will be available to the public. And I'd also like to know how much high-capacity well water is going to be drawn. I've heard that this can be as much as 300,000 gallons per day. Thank you.
Be an advisor.
My name is Joe Sal. I live on Pine G. I'm probably the newest member to take on the township. Just moved to my place about 2 months ago with my wife and 2-year-old girl. Looking to raise my family there. Actually, Scott Teigen's neighbor, share land with them. I think he actually has some coffee right now. But anyway, I just want to say, had I known then what I know now, there's no way I would have bought my property.
No, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
So keep that in mind for the next 24 years, and it's going to bring jobs in. Anybody who lives here, better settle in.
Just saying, they opened that up, it was 30% off.
Yep.
30%.
Nobody's going to want to buy it.
No.
Why would they?
How many people here would want to buy a place next to a sand mine? Can we take a vote on that? A show of hands, how many people here would buy a place within a mile of a sand mine?
Or never done.
I'm half a mile from one. We just want to leave the noise, the dust. I'm Rebecca Johnson from 1061 Colonial Avenue. As a full flight, I'm half a mile from the Milestone Mineral mine, and I understand what you're saying. Different companies are different. I want to point out anybody on a county road, when Vista was showing the proposed route at the Menominee Rail Spur meeting, they said that was a proposed route. They would rather take county roads. I hope it's one of yours, I'm sorry, but not mine. Going by. And the dust. You know, you guys, here's the problem. They can throw any kind of, and I'm talking to you, not to them. They can tell you, well, we've done studies. What recourse do you have unless you have the money to do your own study? I'm going to tell the story again about the cycle on my house. We have a house that's 120 years old, new foundation. We did it from the ground up 17 years ago. Stucco, beautiful. Never one crack. December 27th, I was home reading a book, and they blasted. Now, when it was just a gravel pit, you felt those blasts sometimes. Let me tell you, this is deeper, and it was stronger. Not much scared me, it shook me to the core. We have cracks all over the back porch in our stucco now. We did not have one crack. So you call them and say, and they're horizontal cracks. It's not, anyone's welcome to come and look at it. It's obvious our house was jarred, okay? They'll come and take a look at it. They will offer to send a seismograph. Do you guys know how to read one? Right? What is your recourse if you don't know how to read those results? You know, so you're talking about creating jobs. How about some of us that have already gone through what's happening in our economy? We're barely holding on. And now if I want to have somebody come out and study the cracks on my house, it's going to cost me $1,000. We don't have that money. A lot of us don't have that money.
I'm Judy Leonard. I live on the corner of G and 128. I guess all I have to say is a lot of you have gotten to watch your children grow and go around the city and play football outside, run track. I get to watch my boy run around while I see, maybe I won't see it. Maybe I won't see it. But the knowledge knowing that there's a stand mine sitting there and my boy's got to run around for the next, 12 years of his life playing football, which I would love to watch him play, but now I got that in the back of my mind. How do I know? They don't, my understanding, these mines are coming on so soon, they don't really know. They don't know what the health concerns are. And I guess that's my biggest worry. I live on the corner of G128. I can all trucks go past my house every it is, for corn shucks, you know, so that wasn't my hugest concern. If someone got ran over by one, we just don't have them ride the bus anymore, we bring them to school. But now this is my next concern. Going outside my house, having my kid go to school, and have to possibly breathe things that are going to hurt them. I mean, how can I, as a parent, not think about that? You know, I
can't smoke on school property, but came out of the house.
you know, and this doesn't really matter who you think about it. My son went to preschool, and I have to, they sent a list of what I can send for snacks with him, because you can only have a certain amount of grams of sugar in each one of those snacks, but yet we can open a stand line across the street from school. I don't get it. And when I found out about it, it just made me sick. I just feel sick. I feel really sick. I feel like there's nothing I can do. I feel sick. You know, and the reason why I'm videotaping is because there was a lot of people that I talked to that also have children that had no idea. No idea. You know? I mean, and they couldn't be here. So I guess my thought on videotaping it was for people that couldn't be here because they have their kids at home. I guess that is my biggest concern. My children having to run around and play and breathe it. I don't really care if I breathe it, to be honest with you, because all I really care about is the kids. So.
Willie, do you want to speak?
Well, the way I look at it, I'm Joe Jackson. 26 years in the township. We have a winter outfit across the road coming in, and I feel the same way you do. I got a winter going across the road. I know there's issues with that. Filters, noise, straight voltage, hell, anything. I went to buy a house and a building. Now, the one industry, what's the lesson of the two evils? Wind turbines, frac mine. Wind turbines, government subsidy money off the back of taxpayers. Let's build great sites. Frac sand, private sector. And now, if you want industry, township, I don't know. But it's the best. You live next to something that you don't want. It's sympathize with you. But Vista Sand, want to know my car, and wind turbines down the road, you go and stand away. Yeah, over to my house. I didn't tell my neighbor when he did this, of course, go home for that wind turbine. That's all I want, frac sand. But no, if you want industry, private sector is the way to go. If you want industry. But there's no price to pay. No matter what you're learning, there's a zero-sum game. Somebody's going to pay this. But now, this is the private thing. When further, it's a private thing, but there's also government money back in for sport, for the food. Well, there's another part of it. Another thing.
We got to keep it to whatever.
One more thing. The property, will the property pay the neighbors' evaluation of property values decrease?
We'll give them hush money.
Yeah, well, I'm curious about that. I know that winter, they'll give us $500 a year.
Anybody else want to speak?
Yeah, I would. I've been listening to all of you, and I guess I really didn't know that much about it. That's why I came here tonight. And, you know, all of your concerns are very legit. And we really didn't have a choice with the mine that was there in Downey, because it was already established. Here we do. There's nothing there right now. And I think I'm with all of it. I mean, I don't think this is a good thing, especially that goes to the school. And, you know, hearing all of what you've been saying tonight, I totally agree with you. I'm Jim Lippy, living in Glenwood. Thank you.
Former town chairman of the board here in the Anybody else like to see?
I'm Kurt Buell. I live in Stanton Township, and a lot of important concerns about traffic and Vista Sand truckers that they will employ, they're bringing quite a few of them from Texas.
Yes.
And to say it's jobs, I mean, it's kind of jobs, but, I mean, just a job, I mean, let's make it quality job. But my main emphasis is like what Terry said about your responsibility to consider who benefits by this and who has the opposite benefit, you know, you hear it. Somebody counted the houses on the route. We're going to be driving through Downey, through Boysville. It was like 260 people or something like that.
Families.
I mean, a trucker.
Per Vista, once every, yeah, per,
houses.
right.
More than 26 people.
And right off the bat, there's, well, how many trucks an hour?
Per Vista, up to one every 90 seconds.
And that's just the people on the route. We're going to hear it too. We might not be right on the route, but everybody's going to hear
So
it.
thank you for listening and take the responsibilities of this. It's for the people.
Thank you. We're going to draw this to a close.
Can I just ask a question?
We're going to draw this to a close. We could go on there all day. In my own defense, I didn't know anything about the Teigen pit until probably a month ago, but I went to the nominee meeting when that first one was. I started researching this in September. On my own because I knew that there was crack sand in this township and I wanted to know what kind of impact it was. We put ads in the Glenwood paper when we talked about ATV trails. We will put ads in the Glenwood paper for this. The reason we did it tonight is because it was really a last-minute thing. I knew that they had sent it to the county for permitting, and we need to get the ball rolling and start getting this information to the town board. We'll have informational meetings. As far as the vote is concerned, Barry, the way the town government works, the residents, we're dealing with the town of Glenwood here. Okay? We're not dealing with Downing, Stanton.
But what you do here affects us still in our
I
culture.
understand that. Okay, but my responsibility, as this lady here said, is to the members, or the residents, or the taxpayers of the town of Glenwood. We could have a recall vote on who you want for chairman, but only the people of the township would vote, so it would be minimal, right? So we're going to have informational meetings. We just did this tonight to start it. I got nothing from the county. At this point, I could actually probably put the cart ahead of the horse. If I offended some of you by doing that, I apologize. But I need to start getting the information trail going. Okay? Because we're not going to rush into it. And we're going to try to get all the information that we can. And we're going to have public meetings. And those meetings will be announced. And I do encourage you, especially the town of Glenwood residents, to attend some of the meetings. We have annual meetings, and we have the most dedicated person that ever shows up is Don Overmiller. He comes to every meeting. Okay? We have annual meetings with 3 people at it. That's a good sign. People aren't upset with what's going on. But I encourage you to know and get interested in what we're doing. And we're not trying to hide anything. Okay? If you have concerns, I brought some business cards. I have my email on it. You're welcome to come and take them.
give us a month or something to, give us a fair warning that this was put in, we requested our vote, or, however you want to say it, so that everyone's made aware of it.
Part of the way the county is being zoned by the county, the way their zoning works, there will be public hearings. Everybody within a certain distance of the affected area will be notified of the public hearing, and then it'll be posted in Hudson and wherever they post their meetings for public hearing. But then there'll be, I believe, at least 2 required public hearings that the county zoning will put on here from the residents. And I believe that's before they even bring anything back to the town court.
Do you know offhand, would you say that if you live in a certain area, you're going to be notified? Is that going to be in the paper, or are they actually going to mail you something? Or just so everyone,
the county will mail you, because they zoning will know the address and mail them.
just so I know, we're supposed to be looking in the paper, we're looking in the paper.
They don't notify you, they just like a folks there with documents.
Can I suggest if they do have some type of a hearing like that, and you guys know it, you put it in
Yeah.
for us.
As we represent.
So that we're aware of it.
The county will post that.
In our paper, like the Tribune?
When I built that area, we had open board investments, and everybody within spitting distance of them, and the city of Glenwood was notified, and municipalities have notified all the residents in a certain area, notified, and the hearing is published.
Okay.
So,
If you remember the Emerald Dairy, the debates that went on about that funding, that was all those public hearings were published in the paper.
okay, thank you for coming. Do you have anything else?